What's up, people? Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 here, and welcome to another deck profile. Today I will be covering my ABC Kaiju deck profile. So, without further ado, let's get started with the deck profile. First up, you pretty much have your standard ABC monsters, Assault Core, B-Buster Drake, and Sea Crush Wyvern all run at free. Basically, they all have varying effects that happened. Oops. Press the wrong button, people. Press the wrong button. Let me just find him. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so basically, like I said, they all have varying effects depending on basically, while they're equipped, if they're destroyed by battle or, basically if they're destroyed by battle or by card effect. So what a Assault Core does is, if this card... Keep pressing that button. Oh dear, oh dear. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, I can add a Union monster from my graveyard to my hand. B-Buster Drake allows me to add a Union monster from my deck to my hand. And Sea Crush Wyvern allows me to special summon a Union monster from my hand. So I think you all can see where this is going. Next, I got free copies of Union Driver. This guy is amazing in ABC. I advise anybody who runs an ABC deck to run free of these, because this thing is just bonkers. Basically, while equipped, I can pretty much banish it in order to equip one level 4 or lower appropriate Union monster from my deck to the monster that this card was equipped to. So basically, say for example, I equip this to a Assault Core, for example. I use Union Driver's effect while equipped, banish it, and I'll equip like either a B-Buster Drake or a Sea Crush Wyvern. Because of the monster not being equipped, with the normal Union mechanic, as I like to call it, you can actually, and I've tested this many times and it's been proven to work, the new equipped monster that was summoned off of Union Driver can actually be summoned to the monster zone. And that's pretty much where you see all these Xyzs down here can come into play. So essentially that's how that little thing works. And then we get to the Kaijus right here. I don't really need to explain how they work. There's plenty of other YouTubers that have gone into much more detail about them. So just search them up and just search up Kaiju YouTube videos and you'll find them. But essentially, the reason why the Kaijus are in here is basically to get around one particular monster. Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is obviously in my X deck here. Because the one thing I've noticed with the research that I've done with ABC does not do very well against Cyber Dragon, which is a pretty popular deck right now. So I added 2 Gamma Seal and 2 Jizukiru in here just to get around Infinity. This is purely for Infinity. Nothing more, nothing less. Sorry about that. Then you have the Triple Union Hanger, pretty much the bread and the butter of the deck. Essentially, when this card is activated, you can add any Light Machine Union monster from your deck to your hand. And basically, it has a nice little once per turn effect where if you normal or special summon a Light Machine Union monster except during the damage step, you could target one of those monsters and equip another Light Machine Union monster with a different name from the deck to that monster. But the Union monster I equipped it cannot be special summoned that turn. You pretty much gotta wait one turn, essentially. Then we have just the one terraforming. Just basic terraforming. Burial from the Different Dimension is wonderful in this deck because I can just get all my ABC pieces that I banished back, essentially. The one Twin Twister and the Harpy's Feather Duster just to deal with the back row. The Dark Hole and the Regeki just to deal with the monsters. One Monster Reborn, gotta love it. 2 copies of Synchro Boost. Now, the reason why I had Synchro Boost in here to begin with was because this was a Synchro deck at some point. But I've been doing a little bit of thinking. And I'm going to put the Synchro Boost in the side deck for the time being. And I'm just gonna up Twin Twister to 2. And then what I'm going to do is add in 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Because Called by the Grave in an ABC deck is just amazing. It honestly is. Or in any deck in that matter. The 1 Foolish Burial just to get your ABC pieces into the grave. That's all it's there for. 1 Pot of Avarice just so you can recycle your ABC pieces. Or your Union Drivers or your Kaijus just so you can reuse everything. 1 copy of Unauthorized Reactivation. Now, this card is one of the most broken cards in this deck. Hands down broken. I mean, you target a machine you control, and then you can equip, basically, an appropriate Machine Union monster from your hand or deck to that monster. But just like with Union Driver, you can't special summon it, the new monster that turn. You gotta wait. But that's okay. That is fine. Because there's a few cards, because basically, say I want to go into ABC Dragonbuster, this unauthorized reactivation allows you to get into Dragonbuster so much quicker. As well as with this. This is like one of the oldest cards in Duel Monsters history here. This card is a legend in this deck. It's called Frontline Base. Basically, it allows you to special summon a Union monster from your hand that's level 4 or lower. Very good for Xyz plays, and it's also and it's also a varying factor depending on if you have all the pieces set up correctly to go to Dragonbuster. Then, right here, my favorite trap card of all time. Hands down, this is the best trap card in the game right now. It's very underrated. I don't understand why people are not running this. It is bonkers broken. Curse Seal the Forbidden Spell. Basically, for people who have never heard this card, when a spell card is activated, you discard a spell to negate the activation if you do destroy it, and if you do that, your opponent cannot activate spell cards with that name for the rest of the duel. Essentially, if you hit the right card in a particular deck, you could just flat out kill the deck instantly. So let me give you a prime example of what this thing is capable of. Say I wanted to hit Necro Valley. Gravekeeper deck, dead. Say I wanted to hit the Eldritch deck, some main field spell. They're not going to be, they'll be technically dead, but at the same time, they won't be because they got their other trap cards and all those goodies in there. So they'll be weakened, but what I'm saying is with the field spell locked down, Eldritch ain't gonna do a thing. Another prime example would be Trickstar. Say I hit their light stage. Without that light stage, they won't get that many pluses. So basically, those are just some key examples of what this card could do. I mean, if it was up to me and I was Konami, I would do so much heavy research into this one trap card, because in the right situation and in the right place and at the right time, this card can be a very big threat to the game. Because like I said earlier, if you hit the right spell card in the deck, that deck is shut down permanently. There's just no way to come back from it. I mean, if I was, once again, if I was Konami, I would not only do the research, but I would also limit this card to one if necessary, if possible. I wouldn't ban this card outright. This card does not deserve to get banned, not at all. But limited to one, it needs it. It honestly needs it. Next up, 2 copies of Formation Union, another old trap card of mine. Basically, it has 2 effects. You can either target a face-up Union monster you control and equip it to another monster you control, or you can unequip it from, or you can unequip that very Union monster you control that is an equipped card and special summon it. So essentially, it's just another way to get Xyz on the field and to set up for Dragonbuster. This whole deck is solely focused on Dragonbuster. Next up, the final card in the deck, and my most personal favorite card, Union Scramble. This card, in the right situation, can set up so much bullshit and so much stuff. I mean, it could set up for Dragonbuster plays. It could set up for Cyber Dragon Nova to go into Infinity. It could just do so much, because basically, it's essentially what I like to call a weaker version of Return from a Different Dimension, but for machine types. Because you can only target 3 of your banished light machine normal monsters and or light machine unions, and just summon them. That's all you can really do. But then right here we got the big boy himself, ABC Dragonbuster, who just recently went back to free. Shout out to Konami for unlimiting this card. This card is not even broken. This card is not even OP. I mean, against other ABC decks that I faced in the past, I was able to get around Dragonbuster with very little problems. It's not even that. It doesn't even deserve to be banned. But anyway, Dragonbuster basically has some very unique effects. Very unique effects. And one of the things I like about him is that basically he's got a nice little banish effect that's spell speed 2 that you can use once per turn. And it's a really nice effect. Really nice effect. But the other effect is basically to where you can tribute him and bring back those same ABC pieces that you used to make him back to the field. It's awesome. It's perfect. Next up we got Carl and Raksha, which is basically just another link in here. So you just Skull Dread. Big reason why I have him in here is just for the draw power. That's basically it. Trap Trick, not Trap Trick, sorry. Topologic Chisbina, just to banish more cards, essentially. Nightmare Cerberus, basically, the reason why I have basically all 3 of them in here is basically, all 3 of them do have basically a purpose in here, and that's just to help me get the Skull Dread. Mainly, that's why they're in here, is just to help get me the Skull Dread. But other than that, Phoenix is good at destroying back row, while Cerberus is good at destroying monsters, so more popping. Nightmare Unicorn, basically he's got a nice little Phoenix Wing Wind Blast effect that's, well, it's similar to Wind Blast, to where you can just basically target a card on the field and return it to the deck. Then I got Platinum Gadget, which is really nice for special summoning your key ABC pieces. Castell, just for bouncing fangs. Okay, people, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to take care of something real quick, but anyway, back to the deck profile at hand. So basically, let me put this down here. There we go. So essentially, Platinum Gadget, basically a piece to get your ABC pieces. Just a good, just a good special summoner for machine type monsters level 4 and lower. Castell basically bounces. Dark Rebellion exceeds dragons a major beat stick. It can just ram into almost anything. Number 101, just to snatch one of your opponent's key pieces. Cyber Dragon Nova, just to get into Infinity. Infinity is just boss. He always is. But anyway, that is it for my ABC Kaiju deck profile. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and until next time, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying see you later.